Istanbul. One of the busiest cities in the world, home to over 14 million people, but this beautiful city was once the stage for one of the deadliest disasters in human history, and believe it or not, it might have all started with a mysterious volcano. In the 6th century AD, Constantinople was struck by a mysterious plague. Millions died. Emperor Justinian and his people were terrified, desperately searching for answers. Emperor Justinian and his advisors were completely unaware of the catastrophe that had struck. The city was filled with corpses, and the people were in fear and confusion. 1,500 years later, in Greenland, a team of scientists is searching for clues. While drilling ancient ice, they uncover a strange layer. This layer was full of sulfur, indicating a massive volcanic eruption. Volcanoes don't just spread ash, they blast sulfur high into the atmosphere, where it mixes with water vapor and forms sulfuric acid clouds. The result? Sunlight gets blocked, earth cools down, and famine follows. At the time, people thought the world was ending. But the truth was even bigger. A mysterious volcano, maybe in Central America or Asia, had plunged the world into darkness. We still don't know exactly where that volcano was. But the evidence is clear in the ice. And it didn't just happen once. In 1815, Mount Tambora in Indonesia erupted. Within hours, 10,000 people died. But the sulfur clouds turned the disaster into a global one. But behind that beauty was the deadliest famine of the 19th century. From Constantinople to Greenland, from Indonesia to Germany, the earth is still alive. And any silent volcano might just be waiting to wake up. Sometimes, to understand our past, we must look deep into the ice, trace the lines of old maps, and study the darkened skies. Maybe the answers have been there all along. Alright, now we're almost certain. Evidence from Greenland's ice shows that in the 6th century, right when the mysterious plague was devastating Byzantium, a volcano filled the sky with sulfur. But wait, just one volcano? Nope, scientists found something even stranger. Just a few centimeters below that layer, more sulfur. That means not one, but two massive eruptions back to back. And the second one? It happened just before the deadly outbreak began. Its effects reached the North and South poles. So the source must have been near the equator, yes. Hidden in El Salvador, the Ilopango Volcano. Today, it's a lake, but 1,500 years ago, it unleashed one of the biggest eruptions in recorded history. Back then, everything was buried in ash. Not soft ash, but sharp, gritty rock dust. A sudden blast launched millions of tons of molten material in just a couple of days. It all started with intense pressure inside the magma chamber, and when there was nowhere else for it to go, the roof just blew off. Then came the pyroclastic flows, fast, fiery, unstoppable. There's no escaping this. No hiding. No surviving. Just a wave of death that burns everything in its path. In a pyroclastic flow, no one survives. Within a 1,000-kilometer radius, everything is destroyed. Today, only thick layers of ash remained, silent witnesses to that hellish eruption. By measuring the ash thickness even far from the crater, scientists were able to estimate the true scale of the eruption. But not all volcanoes are on land. A team from Germany's GMR Institute took a ship out to sea, searching the ocean floor for hidden clues. Using a heavy steel pipe, they extracted sediment samples from 3.5 kilometers deep. Each sediment layer is like a page from Earth's history, and sometimes, a hidden layer of volcanic ash tells a forgotten story. Stefan Kudderolf, a volcanologist, loves these samples. Ash, he says, is like a fingerprint. Every volcano has its own unique chemical signature. And the crystals found at the bottom of the ocean? They match the ash from Ilopango in El Salvador exactly. You heard that right. Its ash traveled all the way to the ocean floor, hundreds of kilometers away. Now it's confirmed. The Ilopango eruption was the largest in the past 2,000 years. It blanketed an area 4 times the size of Germany in ash. Today, the city of San Salvador sits right on top of that ash, just 16 kilometers from the volcano. But no one is truly prepared. 6 million people live near this sleeping giant. And in a country with nowhere to go, relocating an entire city would be nearly impossible. Robert Dahl sets out to explore the volcanic lake and its surroundings, hoping to find clues from the largest eruption in history. Why? Because mapping the ash can reveal which areas might be in danger again. Generations have lived here unaware that they're sitting on a volcano. Ilopango has slept for centuries. No one remembers that sulfur-rich ash was once found here. Look around this valley. Volcanic ash enriched the soil, turning it into fertile farmland. Over time, farming erased all traces of the eruption, making it almost impossible to pinpoint when it actually happened. Volcanic ash is made of inorganic material, stone and glass shards. You can't date it directly. But Robert Dahl uses remains of living things, creatures that died in the eruption, to find the answer. Wood, charred by searing ash, offers a rare chance for precision dating. These trees act like natural timekeepers. When we find them, we can determine exactly when the eruption occurred. These charred remains contain chemicals that decay over time. By measuring that decay in the lab, scientists pinpointed the moment of death, placing the Ilopango eruption in the early 6th century AD. What followed was a 15-year cooling period, cold enough to reach Constantinople. And right then, a mysterious disease began to spread. Emperor Justinian, desperate for divine help, ordered mass baptisms. But nothing worked. The disease traveled from Asia, swept through the Eastern Roman Empire, and finally reached Munich. In the outskirts of Ascium, people died rapidly. They buried multiple bodies in shared graves. But how can we be sure? Teeth hold the only surviving clues. Alger Schultz from the German Army's microbiology unit uses forensic science to solve the riddle. Wearing special bioprotection suits, scientists isolated the genetic material of a deadly bacterium, the one responsible for the deadliest infectious disease in human history, Yersinia pestis, the plague. The cold weakened entire populations. Widespread famine pushed people and rats into crowded cities, where food was still available. And just like that, people came into contact with rats, and with the disease. The plague bacterium feeds on rat blood, but it reaches humans through fleas, an invisible enemy, hiding in plain sight. Volcanoes don't just scorch the land, they reshape lives. When Ilopango erupted, climate shifts and drought weakened populations, and the plague spread from distant Asia to Europe. This disease knew no borders. Even the emperor fell ill. The crisis peaked, and people believed it was divine punishment. But volcanic eruptions aren't just a thing of the past. In 2014, Iceland's Bardarbunga volcano erupted, releasing toxic gases into the atmosphere. These gases can travel to Europe, posing serious threats, just like the Laki eruption of 1783. That eruption spewed 120 million tons of sulfur dioxide, triggering widespread illness, crop failure, and even contributing to the French Revolution. Today, we live in an even more polluted world. If a major eruption happened now, it could cause 140,000 additional deaths. Are we prepared? Unfortunately, no. We're still not ready to deal with volcanoes that can send deadly gases across entire continents. A volcanic winter could unravel our world. The impacts of climate disruption remain severe and dangerous. Just like the winter of 2005 in Munsterland, when a snowstorm plunged entire regions into darkness. When the power goes out. No TV, no radio. No cash for buying essentials. Even gas stations stop working. In that moment, civilization itself is at risk. But that's just the beginning. If 30% of the population falls ill, the real crisis begins. Supply chains collapse. Diseases spread. And society starts to break down. That's exactly what people faced in Constantinople during Emperor Justinian's reign. The plague struck everywhere, and governments couldn't cope. Not even the emperor could save his people. What if it happens again? Today, our world is more dependent than ever on transport, trade, and communication. Can we really protect 7 billion people from the global effects of a massive volcanic eruption? There are 1,500 active volcanoes around the world, but only 100 are being properly monitored. Even for experienced scientists, predicting eruptions is incredibly difficult. In 1993, a research team studying Colombia's Galeras volcano was caught in a sudden hydrothermal explosion. 9 scientists lost their lives. Even in our modern world, we remain unprepared for such disasters. After thousands of years, volcanoes remain one of humanity's greatest threats. And perhaps no one can say where or when the next one will strike. If these thrilling and hidden stories from Earth's past fascinated you, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. Every week, we uncover the breathtaking wonders of nature and history. Like the video, leave your comments, and share your thoughts with us. We'd love to hear from you. Until the next adventure, stay curious, stay prepared, and get ready to explore the secrets of our incredible planet.